It's an amazing thing. It's the first day this week that I'm driving to work, and I haven't had to deal with snow. So I was thinking when I first got in the car, you know, this is the time of year where it's still kind of dim. It's not really dark, it's not light, it's that, you know, dawn where it's, you know, if you're in an area that's wooded, it's a little bit darker, and, you know, obviously if you live in a place where there aren't woods, that wouldn't be something that makes any sense, but woods are just kind of darker. But I was thinking when I got in the car that every single morning I put on my headlights and then I drive to work, and every single afternoon by the time I leave work I need to put on my headlights because it's dark already, because I leave at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it, you know, just gets dark as I'm driving home. So for me, I think one of the things I'm most excited about is reaching that point where I don't need to put on my headlights. That is the point where it feels like it's starting to cross over into spring. So I'm just kind of holding out hope for that, and in the meantime I'm just basically staying inside except for the times that I get on the treadmill. So this morning it wasn't as cold outside, which was kind of nice. The garage was a little bit warmer, and I checked my heart rate from yesterday's run before I ran today. I was all up in zone 3, so I'm just, you know, I left it the same. I know I only did 10 minutes worth of running today, but, you know, if that's where my body seems to, you know, be in terms of best aerobic activity, then, you know, I'll do that. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of walk for the rest of the time to get up to 30 minutes. That's really what I want to try to do next week, is get to where I'm doing 30 minutes at a clip. Because right now I've only been doing 20, and you know, I got to get more aerobic exercise than that. Even though running, you know, I had said before, is really not a great way to lose weight. It's not gonna, you know, necessarily, you know, shed the pounds. If you're doing it in really high volumes, then yeah, you're burning a lot more calories. But, you know, just plugging in your half an hour a day of that exercise is going to keep you, you know, healthy from a cardiovascular standpoint, but it's not really going to, you know, launch you forward in a major way in terms of weight loss. You'll still lose weight, but high intensity interval training would be a much better thing to do, and also focusing on some strength training to try to, you know, build some muscle mass, because the more muscle mass you have, the more efficiently you're burning fat, the more you're engaging those muscles and burning energy. So the intermittent fast thing is working fairly well. I'm not really ravenously hungry. Yesterday I didn't have anything to eat until the afternoon, so that was fine. I've been having coffee, water. I did really good with hydrating yesterday. And then I had a meeting last night at work, so I'm just going to switch this so I can mess with my climate control. I had a meeting last night at work, and it was a meeting where we always have, you know, food. So I had some soup and one slice of bread. I had some coffee, which probably explains why I had a shit time going to sleep last night. And then I also had a regular Sprite, so I did have some sugar there. But that was within my time for fueling, so, you know, I did okay there. On the way home, I was still a little bit hungry, felt like I needed a little bit more protein, because I really hadn't gotten much protein yesterday. So I stopped at Taco Bell, which is not a very good decision, not a good place. But I did have a chicken burrito and a bean burrito, you know, just to sort of get the extra protein in it. And that's not terrible. I mean, it's not great food, and obviously it's very heavily processed. But really the only carbs in that are the tortilla and, you know, any of the sugars that they add to the sauces. You know, the cheese, pretty decent. Meat, beans, decent. There's not any sour cream on the burritos, on the chicken burrito or anything like that. So not too bad there. So all in all, not a real bad food decision. But you know, I didn't necessarily need to eat, but I went ahead and ate anyway, just for the extra calories, because I knew that if I didn't have anything, I'd be pretty ravenous by the time I got home, and then I'd wake up hungry, and I didn't want to wake up hungry, and I didn't. I'm not hungry now, I'm fine. I did have a diet, or a sugar-free, I guess it is, Rockstar on the way in. I didn't have my coffee maker cleaned at the house. I didn't have my travel mugs at the house. I was just kind of discombobulated after leaving the meeting yesterday and leaving my travel mugs at work, so I kind of messed up that routine. But I did talk to Mary about, you know, that whole, let's just buy some K-Cups, and then that way I can have those, and it's just easier, and it's a little bit more of an expense, but shit, it's going to save me a ton of time in the morning, and I'm not going to have to worry about my routine or anything like that. So that's going to be the plan at this point. K-Cups, and just maybe, you know, do the French press thing on the weekend, or maybe do espresso or something like that. So the run felt decent today, not too much of a struggle. I was, like I said, pretty tired when I got up. I don't feel like I slept great last night, so I would be really interested to see what the numbers are on the CPAP report for this morning. The other thing with the CPAP is over on the side of my nose, I've got this spot that is just really like messed up right now. It started off, I don't know if it was like a pimple or something like that, but then I kind of like, you know, opened it up, and I was you know, because it's there, and I was just kind of, you know, messing with it, and so now it's kind of like full-blown angry, and you know, the mask at night sits right on that spot, so I'm gonna have to figure out something to do about that. And it could be that kept me up last night. My legs have been real restless lately. I've got that restless leg thing happening, and then my skin's been really itchy because anytime it's cold and dry, you know, and obviously we've got the pellet stove. That's how we heat the house, in addition to the oil heat. So that's, you know, that's really dehumidifying the air. So I should probably use, you know, like lotion or something like that, and try to stay on top of that, because I'm just like itchy all the time. So other than all of that, it's Friday. I'm thinking today about what I want to do for the weekend. And I'm thinking maybe what I try to do for the weekend is some sort of a double session. You know, maybe I take the treadmill and I do the same approach I was doing, you know, do a 5-minute warm-up, 10-minute run, and then walk the rest of the time to get to 30 minutes, but then break it up and do it again later in the day, and do that on both days. That might be a good way to sort of increase mileage, and just increase my aerobic activity, but at the same time sort of be able to keep my heart rate under control. So I'm torn between doing that, or really just kind of reconsidering my approach to getting to the point where I can run, and going back over to the run-walk plan. So I don't know yet. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's been a real challenge, because I'm still a lot heavier than I want to be. You know, so I really don't want to push it, but I do want to make sure that my heart rate's in a zone that makes sense for, you know, getting a good fat burn. And if I'm doing that in the morning while I'm in the middle of that intermittent fasting period, I think that's a good approach. I think that's where I'm going to really optimize my calorie burning and my weight loss. And again, knowing that, you know, I'm not going to make huge leaps and bounds with running, but I am at the same time offsetting some of those calories that I'm taking on during the day, and at the same time I'm trying to be more intelligent about those choices. So lower carb to no carb is really where I want to end up. And of course I'm saying that on a Friday where Mary's got a bingo session that like a fundraiser thing that she's doing tonight, so it's going to be pizza and movie night with the boys. So yeah, so no carbs, maybe not so much. But I will not be imbibing in any alcohol, and I'm still doing real good with not drinking calories for the most part, especially with energy drinks. I'm staying away from the calories there. You know, again, no sugar on the energy drink today, but I just, you know, that's the caffeine substitute for the fact that I didn't have my coffee routine nailed down. So I really don't like doing that, and I'm not going to do that, because I think that even when you drink sugar-free things, basically what you're doing is you're drinking artificial sweeteners, and your body is still reacting as though you're taking in sugar, so you produce insulin. And I've got to look at the study that examined that. There's some science behind it, and I want to dig deeper into that. But essentially, it's the study was saying that, you know, sugar-free things don't really provide an adequate substitute for sugar. Yeah, they don't have calories, but your body is still looking to convert, you know, those sugars or those carbohydrates or whatever into fat. But if you're not taking in any carbohydrates as part of that, you don't really have anything to convert. So I don't think it's necessarily an issue if I'm doing it and I'm not eating at the same time. But again, I want to look at the science behind that a little bit more. So that's today, and it's Friday, so I'm looking forward to the weekend and just having a couple of days to chill and hopefully get some more issues sorted out as far as routine goes.